All right, what's up, everybody? We got a special episode of the Peer Pressure Podcast, and we got your homie Pizza Palace and the homie
Young Jay.
And the lovely Ruby Renegade was not able to join us today. Unfortunately, she was having some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll be joining again in the future. But she's here in spirit right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, today is a special episode because I think at this time the album Warmode is about to be released, and it's the latest album from Young Jay.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, bro?
I feel good, man. I feel like I've been sitting on this album for a little while now. You know what I'm saying? Debating on whether I'm gonna drop it or not. And then yeah, definitely we dropping it. It's out now. If you guys are seeing this, it's out now. It's on every streaming platform. So go see that. Go check that. I mean, go check that out. We got it on YouTube, Tidal, iTunes. We got it on Cash App. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys want to.
Cash App him though if you want to, you know what I mean? We won't say no. Cash App me too, bro. Like, you know, just anyone out there. All right, so this album Warmode, I think the last album that you released was I think about 6 years ago. I think it was Loud Pack.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Yeah, what you been up to in those 6 years, you know?
So when Loud Pack dropped, that was the end of 2016, I think. And then going into 2017, like we toured the entire year, me and Hart. We toured for like 2 years. 2 years for sure, like solid 2 years consistently. And then after that, we were gonna do an album together, him and I. And then we were just fucking up. We were just having hella fun. I ain't even gonna lie. Like we were just on this high of like the money was coming in good, the views were coming in, the shows were coming in. Like we were just kind of like on a high, and then when it kind of slowed down because we were like not like releasing and taking care of business while we were like touring and stuff like that. You know, we slowed down a little bit, and then boom, pandemic hit. I had my son, and then you know everything was on froze. I try to. That shit was slept on, but a lot of people didn't know. I released an album during the pandemic. It was like I would call it. I don't even know. I just call it a project. But yeah, I dropped the project during the pandemic. That shit didn't move nobody. You know, motherfuckers was not trying to party or listen to fucking music at that time. You know what I'm saying? So everything was closed. Once that came about, Hart and I definitely went to the studio. Once everything opened up again, we were like in the studio nonstop, and we recorded a lot of music together. We were about to do a Bad Life album as well, which was the record label that I was signed to. And then, so we just had a bunch of music piling up. I took a couple of those and put it on Warmode. Actually, I only took They Don't Know and put it on Warmode from those projects.
Fire. And what made you want to release now, like beginning of 2023?
I'm sorry, it's called Don't Even Know. Fuck, I don't know my track listing right now, but yeah, it's called Don't Even Know. But you said, but to answer your question, you said, why do I want to drop it this year? Last year was a very fucking pivotal point in my life. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna get straight into it. I was definitely figuring myself out, right? Being a co-parent and shit like and that, and then like just kind of just figuring out, do I still want to do this music shit? You know, felt like I had my peak a little bit. This is how I was feeling at that time. Like I felt like I was already peaked. You know, is people really looking for a Young Jay album, or are they looking for music? You know, the views are getting a little less. You know, because there was a time when we were dropping like record after record. It was a million views. You know, three back to back, and then after that, it was like okay. Then it was like 250. You know, then it became like 220. You know what I'm saying? So it just started getting a little less. So I'm like, damn, like really doubting myself. And then I don't know. I just thought I just started getting crazy into this fitness shit. You know, I lost like 25 pounds, and shit like that. So I just started grinding in that mode, and then like sooner or later, I was just kind of like, nah, man, I feel like I have unfinished business with this music shit. You know, um,
Mm.
there's like critics that say like I say critics, but it's really just motherfuckers on the YouTube comments. I was saying like my whole career is because of Stupid Young, or my whole career is because of Heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I read every fucking comment. All right? Yeah, so don't think nothing gets past me. But yeah, so I'm like, man, I gotta low key like prove myself. Like, and I love this music shit. I love making music. You know, I feel like I'm good at this shit. So definitely, why now? Shit, why not?
Fire, fire. And and the title War Mode is a hella aggressive name, you know.
Yeah,
So like, does it have anything to tie in with that story?
yeah. Because just going back with that self doubt shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, oh my god, like, uh, I just didn't have the confidence for some reason. But once I started like to feel good as far as like my body goes, you know, because I was like, I was chubby. Like I don't think anybody like told me I was fat. Like no one told me that shit. And then once I started like to put the weight off, I started to feel good, like literally feel good. And then like that boosted my confidence a little bit. And then I'm like, yo, um, like shit, I lost my train of thought. But I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I can do this music
You were
shit.
talking.
I still got shit to say. I still got a space in this motherfucking music. And then I think so the album title came like after you sent me a beat. You know what I'm saying? Which is my favorite song off the album, called "Till I Die," produced by Pizza Palace. You sent me a beat, super
Oh
fucking
shit.
aggressive, right? Super aggressive. I mean, I recorded that record, and I'm like, yo, like it ties in with this gym shit. Like I just wanted to make more music for people to like, get pumped up and shit like that, right? But the name War Mode kind of came like, yo, like it's time for me to just like stop worrying about shit. Like I just need to attack these goals. I just need to go and get it, Because I think I used the analogy with you on just like before we even started filming about like someone like at war inside of like Afghanistan. They're not worried
Mm.
about, oh my god, do people like me? I'm worried about what's gonna happen with whatever. They're worried about fucking going to war. Like, you know what I'm saying? We fucking we need to go and get it. We need, whatever this task is at hand. That's it. That's all we're worried about. We're not worried about all that depression and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the name came about.
That's fire, bro. Like I respect that a lot. That actually reminds me of like a conversation we had like I think it was a few weeks ago. You were just like, "Hey, bro, how you doing? Just checking in with you." And I was just kind of sharing like things, and you kind of really put it into perspective. Like I was, kind of stressed out with a few things, and you're like, "Bro, like in the big scheme of things, those are good stresses, you know." And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when
Remember that
when you
conversation?
when you kind of bring up the meaning behind war mode now, and like I needed to hear that at that time, because I was so caught up in like, making sure this is, like, just getting the work done. And when you put it in that perspective, I was like, damn, you're right. Cause like we've been through so much. And so now these are actually, we've worked so hard to stress about these things instead of those things,
Right.
and like, so yeah, it's dope to hear that story with Warmode and how you shared that. Fire,
Yeah, I think
bro.
like I want people to kind of take that title, take the music, and just be like, "Fuck it, man!" Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're like trying to get this like promotion at work or something like that, do whatever that you need to take, whatever it needs to, whatever you need to do to get that. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about like, oh shit, like is this girl gonna fucking like, this guy gonna say this, and my mom's gonna think like, yo, nah, bro, we at war, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mindset. It's not really like literally like we've been doing that too, but like that's another conversation. But the mentality behind it, you feel me?
Yeah, fire, fire. And like I thought also what was interesting is that like we're right now we're in an era I feel like where it's a lot of singles, like short TikToks and that sort of thing. Why a whole album instead of a single, you know?
Oh, I like that. That's a good question. And this, I always want to put a disclaimer like, I don't know all the answers, right? Like, this is just what I chose to do, because I felt like with a single, so say I drop a single, right, and then I promote
Mm-hmm.
it, or I build it up, and then I promote it, and then after that, like you got to make like content around it, right, and then after that, you do the same thing again. But now, if I'm dropping an album, like I can take so much content from every song. You get what I'm saying? And it
Mm.
gives me a way to gauge like if I just drop the album, right? There's 12 songs on it, and let's say this song is getting the most views or the most streams. All right, that's the favorite. You know what I'm saying? Or you can just know when you play it. You know what I'm saying? So here's the music, and then I'll take what the how the people are reacting to it, and then I'll shoot a music video to that. You know, because at the end of the day, like I felt like I don't have much buzz around me right now. Let's be real. You know, people are not sitting around waiting for a Young Jay song. You know what I'm saying? But here it is, right? Whoever wants to listen to it, listen to it. And but I'm gonna keep promoting this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just as if it's a product. You know, if I came out with a motherfucking snack company, I'm gonna pump that fucking snack every single day. Same thing with this motherfucking album. That's what I'm gonna do. It's my product, and I'm gonna just keep selling it like that. You know, and I'm gonna keep promoting it. Why an album? I feel like I got so much to say, bro. Like,
Huh.
yeah, like if you really listen to the album, right? Like it starts off with the intro of him talking about like, um, about fear, right? Like whoever like is whoever has fear in them, you know, they're like a slave to that shit. I don't know word for word, but that's basically how I took it, and I
Uh,
hope that's what it means. And then boom, the first song that comes off is gang gang in this bitch. Like, yo, you know, I'm not scared of nothing. You know, we in this motherfucker, right? And then after a couple of those kind of songs, you know, just kind of boasting and shit, like, and then you get into Good Day, which is a song that's just like low key manifesting a lot of shit. And also like I really wanted to let people know that like when the street shit, there's good days, you know. I mean, 90% of gangbanging is fun. Like we kick it, you know what I'm saying? Like we drinking, we were bitches. Like, you know, there's good times. We're not just throwing up our set all day. You know what I'm saying? So, so no, and it's
fire,
true, right? And then
fire.
at the end of that song, "Good Day," if you listen, it talks about he says a quote that says, I'm butchering all this shit, right? But he says, uh, the the actions of one dictate the fate of all, right? Boom, get into fucking problem with me and Stupid Young, right? So that song's just
Mm.
like, yo, is there a problem type of thing? Next song after that is Look Over My Shoulder, which is, you know what I'm saying, a crime that happened that made me go on the run. So it's just kind of like a
That's one of my
chronological thing,
favorites.
right? Thank you.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then right after that, you got like kind of the depression with doing fine. Cal, shout out to Cal, my little brother. He says, there, I have a lot up on my mind. But I just tell him I'm doing fine. Like, you know, lot of shit that we both go
Uh,
through. Then the song right after that is Don't Even Know. You know what I'm saying? Which is
mm.
another song that's like we put up front, and then after that, like you only see what we show you. You know what I'm saying? And then after that is Check, which is like, yo, fuck all the bullshit. Let's get to this money. And then boom, outro, we got Dizzy, where we're like, you know, we're still talking gangster shit. And then the bonus track, which is the one with me and Chow Ming, which is just a fun record. If you really
Yeah.
look at it like a movie, that last song is like while the credits are playing. You know what I'm saying? that's how I put
Yeah, yeah.
that's how I put the album together.
Bro, you know what I'll say is that uh I got a chance to listen to the album earlier, and that's literally how you described it. That's how I heard it. Like it literally felt like a movie. Like I felt
Oh
like
hell
there was like an emotional flow. Like sometimes I'll hear albums and it's like, okay, cool. They just like put random ass songs together and like
yes,
they just had to ship it, and
mm-hmm.
but like this one, it
Exactly.
really did feel like there was a flow. Like you could feel like like if a person was to pace a movie, it was perfectly paced in my opinion. And I
Exactly.
thought that
There's three
was
acts.
fire.
There's three acts to every movie. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, everyone. I
Uh,
think everyone knows that, right? So the first part is just
I
like
hope so.
introduction, right? What we're about. This is who I am, type of thing. Then boom, next one is kind of like the problem. The what do you call that in Act Two? Act Two is always the problem, right? Like the problem of like, and it just so happens that the song is called Problem. But yeah, you know, the problem happened, and then like, you know, the crime happened, and then boom, we gotta go on the run. Then, you know what I'm saying, a little depression. Then boom, the final act, yo, let's go get this money. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, movie ends.
Hell
And I'm
yeah.
glad that you said that because like track listing is very important to me.
Mm.
You know, I
Yeah.
definitely think that's a lost art, and I don't know if it's like me being like, you know, raised in the '90s type of shit, but definitely that's something that I took pride in. I don't think everyone's gonna take it like that, so I hope that like they watch this and be like, oh, okay, they can appreciate it at least. But even if
Yeah.
they don't, the music's good in my opinion, so it doesn't really matter
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I never really felt like a track where I wanted to really skip over, at least for me, you know, like
for sure.
yeah, and every single time I heard a track, I was kind of curious about what would kind of happen next, and like I
Yeah.
loved how you like I'm listening to it from a producer's point of view, right? But also as an audience member at the same time, and like how
Mhm.
you kind of connected it together with the quotes and things like that, you could really tell there was a lot of thought behind it. So
Hell yeah.
like that's the type of shit I think is fire for me
Yeah, I
personally,
think
you
it's
know?
like,
So,
yeah, I think with like creating albums, it's cool to obviously if you like Drake or something like that, like bro, you just talented, you just gonna put shit together and it's gonna sound good, right? But like these little things, it's kind of like remember back in the days when we used to buy like cereal, and then you get like, oh man, the cereal's good, but hey, here's that little extra toy. You know, it's just like that
hell
little
yeah.
extra bonus, you know, because like here's an album, the album's good, you like it, but you know if you kind of like dig a little deeper or like find this interview and you hear this, you're like, oh, that's kind of you can appreciate that as well. You know, it's a little bit like little extra like saw on there. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, like one of the things that was super cool. Again, I'm saying this not because I'm the homie, like because as the homie, like if I hear something like not cool, like I'm actually extra um I'm extra like no, like this isn't it or
Critical.
whatever. You get what I'm saying? Because I would never want the homie to like put stuff out that's not there. But like every single one, I'm like, yo, this is hitting. And I think especially for me personally, look over my shoulders, like that one really hit because if it
Yeah.
was like it's like very real experiences that I know people go through or have experienced
Yeah.
and I don't know, there's a realness behind it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So
yeah.
with that song, I felt like that shit was like a gamble to me, right? Because
Uh,
like nowadays you get like somebody get on make a dope hook, put some verses on it, and you call it a day. But like telling a story is always just kind of like, damn, like either you have some time in your car to listen to it, or something like you get what I'm saying. Like you can't just like I can't be kicking it with a bunch of like bitches and boom, here's a story about a crime that happened and we had to go on the run. You know, like that's just like you get what I'm saying.
bad transition.
And this
Uh-huh.
it goes
Yeah.
back to like what you asked about like why an album, because like if I just drop that shit by itself, I feel like it wouldn't hit as hard as if it's on an album. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. You mean it
At
wouldn't
least
hit
not
as hard if it was just a single? Is that what you're saying?
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why
Okay.
like I
Okay.
chose to go with an album because I feel a lot of these songs by themselves might not mean as much as if, you know, here's an album, you know what I'm saying? Like even like the song with me and Vibo, right? Someone who I always wanted to work with, and it's just literally me and him going back and forth. Like we're just going back and forth. He raps a little bit, I rap a little bit. He raps a little, boom, boom. At the end, we just trade off a couple bars, and boom, that's a song. If I just drop that, it's kind of like, oh, that's a cool track, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But like the fact
Yeah.
that it's just like you just get to sit with a whole album of like music, I just feel like it hits a little harder. That's my opinion. Like I said, I don't know all the answers. This is what I feel. You know what I'm saying? So
Fire.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. You know, speaking of bars and stuff, I know like you're known to have like bars and clever wordplay and stuff, right?
appreciate that.
So, you know, you talked about going back and forth. Like, who do you feel like there's anyone who's more lyrical than Young Jay? Or like do you feel like there's any artist who can kind of punch in your weight class in terms of bars?
Bars. Let me see.
Not
Let me
to
see.
instigate or anything. I'm just
No, no,
yeah.
no, no. I mean, all right. Look. This is I think, especially in the Asian rap community, we are definitely the type to really like support each other and shit like that, right? So the element
Mm,
of this shit being a sport is kind of like not there yet with Asian artists, which is cool. I like that. You know what I'm saying? However, I do think I'm a lot better than a lot of Asian artists. I think I'm a letter better than a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what you're saying, as far as like lyrics and like bars and shit like that, I think Stupid Young is kind of slept on in that sense. I think because people just think that he's a West Coast rapper, and I don't know if there's a stigma behind that shit or something like that. Because he's like LA West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
I think,
mm-hmm.
but I think he has lyrics. Like he has some bars in there, and he has a nice flow on a couple songs and shit like that.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He had like on the fucking I think that song where he did over the Tokyo Drift beat. He said some shit about like uh oh man, I forgot. It was something though. It was something about like blood and period and shit. And I had a line like that on I had a line like that until I died. And then when someone heard it, they're like, "Oh shit, you got that shit on Stupid Young." I'm like, dude, I recorded this on like a year ago, fool. Like, I didn't. Yeah. So even then, it's like, yeah, I think him. Who else? Um, yeah, like wordplay and like yeah, just wordplay and like bars and shit like that. Off the top of my head, fuck, bro. Like obviously like a China Mac, but he don't really rap no more. Shit. Who else? Ooh, damn, man, nothing's coming to mind. Yes, fuck. See, that's why I wanted the questions before. Man, I was kidding.
Hey.
Hey. So off the top, I just say Stupid Young for real.
Fire, yeah.
But talent
Speaking of
wise, man, we got a lot of talent. All right, I'm just throwing that out there. I want motherfuckers
oh
coming at my
man.
head talking about like, man, Jay think he's better than everybody. The question was about bars.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stupid Young, you got a you have a he's on the album too, right? So,
Yes, he is.
yo,
Yeah.
yeah. And how did y'all connect? How did y'all get that song together?
That song specifically.
Yeah.
Um. So we record at the same studio in Long Beach, and fuck, I think I was talking to his manager. I used to live in LA, San Gabriel Valley to be exact. Mutual friends and shit like that. And then his manager was one of my friend's brother. I think we were at like a kids party or some shit like that. I forgot exactly. Yeah. So we linked up. So I asked him like, hey man, can you think Young would do a verse for me? And he's like, dude, you guys did like 3, 4, 5 songs already, you know? Yeah, why wouldn't he? So I was like, so I just told him like, yeah, go pick like one of the songs that are at that's at that studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the funny part is I didn't like that song. I the hook, my verse was literally just like having fun. Like I literally just like I don't even know what my thought process is. But when he put his verse, I don't like. All right, without him, I would not release that song for sure. But
Ah.
he put his shit on there, bro. He gassed that shit. I liked his verse a lot. And then so then we worked it around it. The fucked up part is that he recorded on a tagged beat. So here's some fucking gems. What do you call that? Easter eggs for y'all. Like if you really listen to his verse, you'll hear HT beats in the fucking background, and he's one of the hardest guys to fucking He's one of the hardest guys to reach. He's busy, his motherfucker's popping. He got a gold plaque, so shout out to Stupid Young, all right? And speaking of him being busy though, so this album, I never went through this before. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on Loud Pack, you know, and obviously since then he just skyrocketed. You know what I'm saying? So on this album, I released my shit through DistroKid. They sent me an email saying that like, yo, we can't release this album without Stupid Young's consent. I was like, what?
Oh shit.
Me. I was like, I didn't even want to bother him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I don't even want to hit him up. I know he got kids. He's doing his thing, right? So I
Yeah.
was like, I emailed back a picture of me and Stevie Young, like just hanging out at a bar, like this, right? I was like, look, we're friends, we're friends, and
To the distributor.
and the funny part is that they're probably like, what the fuck, dude? We just need him to like, literally, we just need. They gave instructions like, yo, he needs to go on our like DMs and say it's cool, put in this UPC code. You know what I'm saying? But I was
Oh
like, yo, look
shit.
at us, we're friends. We're right next to each other with a shot and shit, right? And then they were like, nah, we kind of need him to like be in our DMs and
Oh
put
man.
fucking that he's gonna let this go. And I was like, nah, man, this guy is busy. I'm not trying to bother the man. You know what I'm saying? So what I did, I took a vlog that he was in, and we were like a vlog of me on my page. So I sent that video in. I'm like, in the video, I was like, dude, I gotta be friends with him. Who else can make him do a peace sign and give a smile like that? Like, dude, we're close. So all right. So that shit didn't work. So I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna just hit the
Yo.
dude. Yeah. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna hit Young up. So I hit him up, dude. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I sent a screenshot and he got the notification of like, because most of the time people will get a notification and they'll tell them like who it is and why they're, but it was like I sent a picture, so maybe it said like Young Jay sent pic or some shit like that. So he was curious and yeah, but he answered right away. He was just like, and I was like, this whole time he answered right away. Why the fuck did I just not hit him up? I almost had to delay my fucking album release just because I didn't want to bother this guy because I know he's busy. And yeah, he was just like, yo, send me the UPC. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, man, shout out to Young, man. That's my guy right there. I know a lot of people don't like him for various reasons, but he's always been straight with me. Yeah.
That's fire, man. Yo, that story's amazing. And I completely get you on the whole thing with people being busy because, like, even if it's the homie, they're on tour, they're performing, it's hard to get to the
Yeah.
phone, they're always around something. So it's like, it does take a little bit to, like, get. Yo, that story is great. So, um,
it's funny. Hey, if we get, I'm gonna edit in the fucking email. I'll be like, we're friends. Look at us. We're gonna clip that
yo,
shit in this motherfucker.
all right, yeah, let's definitely clip that in. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Speaking of collabs, who did you collab with on this album?
Great segue, by the way. I collaborate at first. Like I said, I don't know if I said it in this interview, but people say like, oh yeah, feel like only got the views because of Stupid Young blowing up. You only went on tour because of Heart. You know what I'm saying? Oh, every song on your album have a feature. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I can make music by myself and shit. So I made the song that you produced. You know what I'm saying? Till I die. Then I did Look Over My Shoulder. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, I like collabing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a people person, so like I get energy out of other people, especially like good vibes and shit like that. Obviously,
Yeah.
if they're trash, then yeah, I don't got energy like that. But anyway, on the album from top to bottom, I got Vibo. He's Vibo's hard. I compare him to like, or at least his style, it's to like a Nipsey. He's fire,
Oh
and
shit.
being in the studio with him was super dope too because I I never really got to hang out with him. You know what I'm saying? We met because he was performing at G Funk show. And bro, I'm not one of those people that like if someone that I know is performing, like, yo, get me backstage or let me get free tickets or something. I'll buy the tickets, I'll pull up, I'll be in the motherfucking crowd. So when he seen me, he knew who I was. So he was like, he's performing. He's like, oh, okay. He shook my hand. And then after the thing, we were just it was like kind of like after the game is over, we're just like, oh, hey, keep doing what you do. All right, we won't leave, you know what I'm saying? So I called him out on it. I'm like, hey man, I got this drill record. You know what I'm saying? That like obviously you're from like Long Beach, I'm from San Jose. Like, what the fuck are we doing on a New York drill beat? But I think it's so tight. So he
Yeah.
came by the studio. He came by the studio by him. No, first day he came by himself, and we just like first hour we literally just chopped it up. This dude is like, he's so like smart,
Huh.
like he has introspective thoughts on everything. It's like I can't. I know you guys want the stories to keep coming, but I'm just leave it there, right? So yeah, we knocked that shit out. Next song, I record with Russ Casson. I don't know if you guys remember him. We were we were
Yeah,
on
yeah.
we were on a bunch of songs together. We fell out. You know what I'm saying? We fell
Uh,
out. We didn't talk for like fucking damn near longer than law. Probably like 6, 7, 8 years. Probably let's say 7 years. We haven't talked. But I was
uh,
going through my email, and back then I used to, because I can't sing, and we were close. So every time I would think of like a hook, I'd send it to him. So I heard that fucking what is that called? The voice memo. So I was like, oh
mm.
man, I like that record, and it fits well with the Warmode, the whole storyline
This
shit.
was from years ago. Like it was
Years
an
ago,
old.
old, yeah, old voice memo, no beat, no nothing. So I was like, man, and then like honestly, me and him never had a personal problem, but it was because of Anthrax. They were in the same group or whatever the fuck. They choose. This is water under the bridge. So I'm talking about. I'm not salty about this shit no more, right?
Mm.
So yeah, so they chose to listen to his side and stuff like that, obviously, because that's their man. Like they're supposed to do that. Anyway, so I heard that shit. I'm like, man, like, all right, I can get someone else to sing this shit, you know. But I was like, you know what? I haven't talked to dude in a long time. I never had a personal problem with him. We did a show within those 7 years, and it was all right. Like we didn't talk like that, but we said what's up and stuff. It was good vibes. So I reached out. I just hit him up. And I was like, hey man, remember that song we did a long time ago? Do you want to do it again? He was like, yeah man, let's do this shit. Like I live in LA now, blah blah blah. Like I'm with it. So yeah, I found a beat for it, and then boom, we just put that shit together, which is cool. Put that shit behind us and
Oh,
shit.
wow. That's
So the next
cool.
song
And
was
like,
just yeah, go ahead.
oh, that's cool. And like, I always feel like when people are just kind of like in the beginning, like if people kind of like fell out a little bit, that first conversation, like it's like people are kind of feeling out that energy. You know what I mean? And so, like, at what point was it like on both sides were like, hey, like I feel good about this? Like, do you,
Yeah, so I think I man, I'll double check the DMs later, but I think I just literally hit him up like, hey man, how you been? He was just like, oh yeah, I've been cool, blah blah, blah doing this and that, you know, just like small talk, catching up. He's like, what's up? And I told him about the record, and he did it. And then like I think after we started just kind of like bouncing ideas again and doing the verses and stuff like that, in the middle of it, he man, fuck it. He apologized. He was like, man, like at the time, he said this thing about you because I met, mind you, I know Russ before they knew Ant. So, but for some reason, like it just went that way. I don't care, but I'm just saying
mm,
he apologized. He was like, "Man, I shouldn't have took his sides. I should have like this and that. Like in hindsight, like blah blah blah." I'm like, bro, we were young, man. We were like mid-20s and shit like that. We were getting drunk and high all the time. I don't know what the fuck was going on. It's all good. I ain't tripping. Like there was no like, it didn't get too personal. It wasn't no fucking beef or nothing like that. So it's cool, man. I can let shit like that go. So
yeah.
yeah, that's how that ended and stuff. And we still talk.
Oh, that's fire, bro. I love that story. I love stories where it's like, because yeah, like, there's kind of like interesting group dynamics that kind of happen like while we're growing up and things like that, and I love it when people kind of, I don't know, it's inspiring, to hear that
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
So
But going back to your
fire.
question of features, after Russ is the young, super young. Then after that, we got Look on My Shoulder, and then we got and then we got Hart. Obviously, I love working with Hart. He's. I said this in the interview with Soju and Jeremy. They asked me like, who is your top like Asian rapper? I said Hart. If Hart put in the work, he'd be number one, easy. You know what I'm saying? When I say put in the work, he just released all the music, bro. He got 100 songs, like literally 100, and they're all good. Like I've been in the studio where we knocked out 5, 6 songs back to back. So I love
Yeah,
working with him. And then that song in particular, I like a lot because his verse and Cal's hook are both freestyles. We didn't record that song like together. They were just rapping on a fucking mic, and then I took the parts that I wanted and I arranged it in that sense. So if you listen to Doing Fine, uh Cal's part was like 36 bars. I took the four that I connected with and I put it as a hook, and then Heart same thing, and I put his as an outro. And then
that's fire.
after those two, and then John Castaneda produced that, which is another friend of mine. He also did Where I'm From with me and Stupid Young. And then
Mm,
after that is Doing Fine, which is with Hart and Chin Young out of San Gabriel Valley. And then who else I got? And then I got Lex Aura. Lex Aura, if you guys know him, he used to do a lot of songs with Mozzie. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. That hook is interesting because I got that shit 5 years ago. I bought a hook from him for $600, and I was like, dude, this dude is like the next like Tory Lanez. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this hook. So when he blows up, I'm gonna fucking do a record with him, right? That was the game
uh-huh.
plan. And then
Yeah,
he peaked, and then it was kind of like stocks. I was like, I should drop this shit right now. And then I was like, nah, he's gonna get bigger. This dude is so talented, right? And then I don't know what the fuck happened. So I don't know where he's at right now. And then so so then then I recorded the that verse like not too long ago, and then the last two is Lil D, which is my little brother, which is on
shout out to
Dizzy.
Lil D.
That's yeah, shout out Lil D, and then Chow Mein. The Chow Mein one is funny because
Shout.
the song it's inspired by Cardi B's Up. If you listen to the beat, it's almost the
Mm,
same. Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's I like that Cardi B record a lot. Like she said some shit. She was like the Bentley Benz taking like I don't know. She just went off on that shit, right? So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
so when I put that song together, and I'm saying all these things on it, I was like, dude, Child's gonna sound good on this. Like it's a fun ass record, right? So I sent it to him.
Mm.
Mind you, I'm talking about like guns and shit and like selling like drugs and shit. So I'm like, oh shit, it doesn't even fit his like image or whatever. But I was like, fuck it, like it sounds good, and he killed it. So I think that's
Hell
everybody.
yeah.
I think I named everybody. If I
Yo,
missed,
that's a
and then of
fire
course I got
list.
Pizza Palace on there. You know,
Let's
you know.
go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what?
I don't
On
think.
that note, I have a. Oh, go ahead. Uh-huh.
No, I just say a lot. I don't think a lot of people know that you produce. Like as far as on my fan base, you know what I'm saying? I think, dude, he produced number two. Yeah, I recorded on a couple other ones, but we got more albums coming out. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. We got a few in the tuck. So,
Yeah,
um, the on that, you know what's funny is because historically I've been like so low key about everything. So it's
yeah.
like I'm just now kind of like being on the other side of the camera and that sort of thing. So it's kind of
Hmm.
it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
you remember when we were talking about the podcast, and I was telling you about this idea, and you're like, "Yeah, that sounds dope, dude. Like, I'd love to be a part of it." And the first thing I said to you was, "Hey, yeah, you could be like Jamie on the Joe Rogan podcast." And you're like, "What? I want to be in front of the camera." I'm like, "What?" You remember that shit?
yeah.
We were driving. You're like, "What the fuck? That's how you feel?" I was like, "No, I didn't mean it that way. I just thought that's how you like it to be behind the scenes." But
Yeah, yeah. Let's just say in the past there was there's a lot of reasons why I
reason,
didn't want to be in front of the camera too. Like,
yeah.
but
And don't worry, when
things.
I interview you on the next podcast, then we'll get
Uh-huh.
into that.
Okay, gotcha. I have a horrible memory with certain things, though. I just want to put that out
Yeah,
there.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Sometimes
um,
we get hit with the Stevie Wonder and we don't see none.
yeah, yeah. I got bad hearing sometimes. I forget stories. All types of
Yeah,
stuff. So,
it's true. It's
but
true.
you actually talked about beats and stuff. This is actually a kind of an interesting question, and this is a producer questions for maybe any producers who are listening. Because
Yeah,
like as a producer, a lot of people will kind of share beats with artists and things like that.
yeah.
And I think it's always important for any producer who's developing to understand what artists kind of look for or listen for, how they choose beats. And I would
Mhm.
say you specifically, you have a very good ear, especially with this album
Thank
for the
you.
beat selection. And I think that's
Yeah.
also a skill set an MC should have. Um, what do you look for like in a beat? What does
that's a
Young
great
Jay listen for?
that's a great question. So I grew up listening to Tupac, and then after that was all ATL trap, like Ti, Jeezy, and shit like that. So heavy drums. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the Bay Area, same thing, right? It's like that bass. I need that shit. That's like the first thing. Like, does it move me? Then
Mm,
it also goes. Then after that it goes into mood, right? Because sometimes I'm not talking. I don't want to talk gangster shit. I don't want to. I don't want to speak about street shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to talk about a girl. So maybe my ears listening for that, right?
mm,
But I love melodies. You know what I'm saying? I love samples. Uh,
mm.
I don't think. Let me see. Do I have a sample on the album? Not this album for sure. I know I got it on a couple. Maybe just the Cardi B would be the only sample. But I love like samples of like Rod Wave. You ever listen to Rod Wave? He has like the most random fucking samples, but I love it. So
Mm.
that's another thing. And all around it's just like you're feeling like. Does it make me feel good? Does it make me feel mad? Does it emotion? You know what I'm saying?
Fire,
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, it's interesting because like
Oh,
when
my
I
bad.
look.
One more
Oh,
thing.
go ahead.
Last thing.
Yeah.
I also look at like people's reaction. If I'm in the studio with 10 people and they kind of make a screwed up face, I'm like, oh, that might be the one. Maybe it don't hit me right away, but I'm like, oh, that's out of 10 people, and 9 of them made that face. Like, all right, cool. Stuff like that,
Fire.
or like just like head, like yeah. So other people. So yeah, those are the three things I would.
Bro, I love that answer because I feel like that is like I couldn't have answered that any better myself. Like
Yeah,
as a musician, it's just kind of like because that's how I feel like when I'm working on music too. Like
yeah,
like all those elements are so important, right? Uh, and then that last part is key, because I think that's where, in my opinion, a lot of artists mess up, or like a lot of musicians mess up, is that like is like they're not listening to the people. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
like
And like, who you making music for? You know, you're making music for yourself to listen to in your room. Then all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, you want people to like your shit. And I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, am I confident in my music? If some people don't like it, then I'll know, like, all right, maybe that's. But if everyone don't like my shit, all right, I gotta go back to the drawing board, right? Like, I
hmm
think that's just
hmm
like I think that's with anything in life. If I make food and everyone's kind of like putting the plate down when they put it in the garbage can, like, yo, your shit wasn't hitting like that, you know. But if
yeah,
everyone's just
yeah,
like, or they start dancing when they fucking eat and shit, oh man, I just killed some shit in the kitchen, you know. So same thing with
yeah, hell
music,
yeah,
and that's why I think
hell
it goes
yeah.
with the collabs thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you step out of that booth, because I write all my shit in the booth. Like I don't like on my
Oh,
phone and go in. I write it in the booth, and so they're waiting for me. You know, they're outside waiting. By the time I come out, if everyone's just kind of like quiet, I'm like, oh, I didn't kill that shit. You know? So,
uh,
yeah, yeah. So same thing. It's
gotcha.
just like react. I feel like reaction is important. Just like yeah. Even
That's
like big
fire.
companies do like what do they call it? Field studies? Is that what it's called? When they like put like 10 people in a room and they show their product or their logo and they go, "How does this make you feel?" You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, hell
that shit.
yeah.
Same thing with music. Yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I feel like you just dropped a gem for anyone listening. Like that's like a gem right there, for real.
Yes, sir. That's
And
Warmode. You know what I'm saying? Not giving a fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
let's
from
go.
not giving from not giving a from not giving a fuck to hey, what do
give,
you guys like
give.
my music or no?
That's funny. I love that.
You
You
know what
got
I'm
you,
saying?
but you got to have the whole spectrum of experiences, and
It's
I
the
feel like you
whole
do represent
spectrum.
that.
Yes.
Hell
This
yeah,
is
let's
why
go.
you're my friend right there. That's how you tied that
Thank you,
together.
bro. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
um, so like when it comes to this album, one thing that I also appreciate about you is that you actually take time to package stuff. Like you actually think about the visuals around it and that sort of thing. And I thought the album
Mm,
cover was like really interesting. Like,
right.
could you? I don't want to go too deep into
Yeah.
it. Like, maybe you could explain
I
it, and
got you.
you know.
So that album cover it's a funny story behind that because there's two, right? You might not know it right now, right? Because the album's not out, but by the time this drops, people will see it. The album cover that's gonna be on the streaming platforms is different than the one I'm about to post or the one that I posted on Instagram because so when I first had that idea, I went to Dale, and then Dale had a vision in his mind of what I meant. You know what I'm saying? So when he was putting it together, I showed up and then I was like, "Oh shit, that's not what I was envisioning." But Dale's really creative. He shot feel like he shot a handful of my videos and most of them are do well on YouTube. So I was like, "All right, he's a creative. I'm gonna trust him on this." So when the pictures came out, they were all right. They were not bad at all, but it wasn't what I envisioned. So we went back to do it, and then that's the one that you're talking about right now. But the
Mm,
story behind that is that so obviously I came up with the album name War Mode first, and then I was on Twitter because when I was off Instagram, Twitter was the only social media I had besides TikTok too. And then I was scrolling, and then Double XL had a meme, and it had Goku inside the fucking water chamber. I don't know the exact name of it, but he's like charging up. You know what I'm saying? And then on the top of it, it was like name a rapper that's doing this right now. So I looked at that, and I'm like, yo, that's me right now. Like I feel like I got a bunch of music kind of like on tuck, and I feel like they're really good. I feel like once I get out of this chamber, I, the music's gonna resonate. It's gonna do well. You know what I'm saying? So that was the
fire.
original idea for the album cover. So I just tied it in with the name, which is War, right? So then, man, my I gotta let you guys know I got ADHD. So this is how my brain works, right? So from the name War Mode to the double XL meme of Goku to being in a chamber and then wanting to be like Captain America because Captain America went from skinny to big. Y'all guys watch the movie, right? He was in a motherfucking chamber,
Hell
right?
yeah.
So Captain America came into play, and then I was like, all right, well, Captain America, which is comic book. Then it goes to Wolverine having all the titanium in his body. I sound like a crazy person right now, but Yeah, so that's why like I'm half robot, just like ready for war. Like, I'm about to be a war machine, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And
Fire.
and I don't know if I'm gonna do it on this or release the TikTok, but I'm gonna show you guys my sketch that I had and then the actual album, how that transpired. It's fucking funny, bro.
Yo, that's dope. Oh, where can people go to check that out? Like the before and after.
I'm gonna. It'll be on my TikTok by the time this drops. So yeah, Young J 777. You know what I'm saying? Big
Fire.
Seven Gang. No, I was kidding. We'll definitely we'll definitely introduce that later.
Yeah. Let's go. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. So we got like in the album, like we're gonna like transition a little bit like from like the album to just kind of like how it connects with like the world around us.
Hmm.
Um the album touches on like a lot of, I think, like street politics. I think things that people experience just navigating, um, just certain experiences in life, right? Like people who
Yeah.
understand, right? So, and I think that's great because we have stories to tell, um, especially in kind of today's environment. How important do you think it is for an artist to kind of have that background to talk about? Do you think that's like a important thing in today's like hip hop culture? Just
Mm, let's see. I like that question a lot because when I go and I work with like a Chow Mein or a Dane, they want to rap. They want to fucking like, yo, put me on some Young J shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk some shit. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like just be true to yourself. I mean, they do it well. Don't get me wrong. I'm just using them as an example. Like I feel like a lot of people, it's easier for the rappers coming from the streets to kind of like come out and talk about this. But to answer your question, I don't think that's important. Drake
mm,
Drake is the biggest fucking rapper in the world, and he talks gangster shit now. But when he was coming up, like he didn't have to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just all about being true to yourself and where you come from, and yeah, just all right, music is entertainment, right? So I think like it's okay to whatever that you come from, kind of like find an angle to make it interesting. So if you need to exaggerate just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I think that's okay too. Especially the stuff that I talk about. Like I can't literally say stuff. I can't be like, this is where I'm at. This is who I hang out with. This is where I claim. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if people know, they know, and a lot of people do.
mm,
But so I exaggerate a lot of things. I could take this piece that I seen from this guy, and I could say I did it, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like I just take these pieces and then I make this song. But I still
yeah,
feel like that's truthful to me because I've seen these things. My people have gone through these things. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
whatever that your background is and stuff like that, everyone has pain. Everyone has a story. You know what I'm saying? How you tell that story is what's the most important thing.
That's fire. That's fire.
Mhm.
Um, I'll say it on the flip side too. Like, do you think that there's any like for artists today, like for artists that come from the streets versus an artist who doesn't? Do you think there's any cons to learning how to navigate the industry from someone from the streets?
Uh, to word the question is you're asking somebody from the streets and someone that's not from the streets, how do they
Uh,
differentiate navigating? Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, yeah. I kind of worded it poorly. Like, let's say,
Yeah.
like, do you feel like a a person who has a background from the streets when they're transitioning into the industry, transitioning into music, do you feel like there's
Yeah.
any hardships that they like
Oh man,
have to
see that's the thing.
navigate there?
I think it's a little harder for the street people because look, even I like to name drop my these are my friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking bad about them, but look at Stupid Young, right? He got a gold plaque. I can't name another Asian rapper, let alone another Asian street rapper with a gold plaque. That's 500,000 albums sold, right? Especially nowadays with streaming. That's hard. That's difficult, right? Hard and difficult. but uh, so Head in the Clouds is run by 88 Rising. They're not street, right? They're more mainstream and stuff like that. They did it in
Mm.
LA. Why was Stupid Young not invited to that? with the biggest record in LA? Is it because he's
Hmm.
from the streets? He might bring, maybe a crowd with him that, you know, disassociates with their crowd. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
there's definitely, as much as people think it's easier to rap about this rap shit, this trap shit, this gangster shit, there's crutches for it too. Is my point.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's like a stuff a lot of people don't think about and consider, And I
Mm.
feel like you, as an artist, you really do think about these things as you're kind of, like you're
Yeah,
very aware of, like also taking care of the people around you. You know what I mean? So like, I
right.
also
I just
feel
want it to
like
be fair.
100%, 100%
Yeah,
fire. Um,
and I'm also
you know,
biased because he's my
speaking.
friend. If he wasn't, I'd be like,
So
ah, yeah, leave that motherfucker off the head of the clouds. He don't deserve that shit. But I like him,
that's
so
funny.
I'm an advocate for
Fire.
that.
Man, shout out to Jay, always taking care of the homies, bro. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Speaking of like 88 Rising and kind of like these different, I mean, you touched on it, like different Asian artists. As we know, there's definitely underrepresentation of Asian artists in the U.S. Like, we know that like a lot of the machinery that exists in the industry doesn't really push Asian American artists specifically as much.
Hmm.
Like we've been in enough conversations with different kind of entities where we kind of see how the numbers don't actually align. Like they keep putting a moving bar in terms of, hey, like this is what we're looking for, and then as soon as like the artist hits it, they're like, actually, well, this is the bar, and then they hit it and they're like, well, actually, this is the, like, we've seen it over and over.
Right.
So it's
Rap,
like,
rap in particular too, right? Because
mhm.
if you're a singer, if you're an Asian singer, you're all right. Especially if you're a
Yeah, yeah,
Filipino
yeah.
singer, you're definitely all right.
Fire, fire.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
so all that to say is, and then I think a lot of the time too is, sometimes they put Asian artists in a box of like a Asian artist. And
mm,
so like for people who try to put that box on you,
ooh.
what do you say to those people?
I love this question because at first I hated that shit. I hated local rapper or local rapper. Then local rapper became YouTube rapper, and then YouTube rapper became Asian rapper. So I started to look at that of that those boxes that they put me in. Right. If you think about it, it's
Mm,
kind of like a ladder. Right.
mm,
So first I was local, which is only in my section, right? And then I became
mm,
YouTube, which is now I'm on this platform. Then I became Asian, now I'm getting a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you
mm,
talk about like Asian rappers and stuff like that, I feel like it's just, if you look at it like a ladder, it's just one step to get to the next. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm doing a world tour with whoever, like whoever name whoever you want, right? They're not gonna call me Asian rapper Young Jay is on tour with Drake. You know what I'm saying? I keep saying Drake, but such a great artist, and but you get what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
They're
hell
just gonna
yeah.
say Young Jay afterwards. So I don't. At first, it kind of had a little like, what do you call that? Like when you just like when you hear it and you're like, ugh, that makes you cringe a little bit. But afterwards, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
don't take.
yeah, yeah.
And people love putting people in boxes. It's always like, uh you see like tabloids, oh, D-list celebrity, da 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 da, B-list celebrity. Like it's always like that. So I'm like, it's just the way it is. It's all good. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Um, okay, so we're gonna transition maybe a little bit outside of music now and just kind of like go into like personal life stuff.
Yep. Let's do it.
Like, because you've been working on the music, like kind of curious like what goes on, like, in your free time.
Right.
Um, what I think what's kind of interesting specifically about you, bro, is like you have um like an interesting sense of humor. But I also know that like with the background that like you come from, like a lot of people don't necessarily associate that with like humor, and you get what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, where where does that come from?
Oh shit. Let's see. Do you want like the dark answer or like just the on the surface answer? What you want? I'll let you choose.
Oh shit, the dark answer sounds more
All
interesting,
right.
bro.
I mean, it's not too dark, but it's just like more on the sad side. Like when I grew up, uh, I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really like know too much and stuff like that. My mom passed out when I was like 5, I think I was 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember like just having that feeling. One, you don't know what's really going on, but you see everyone's kind of sad, and then you don't know, like you're a kid, so you're sad, but you're not. You don't know how to besides crying, you don't really know how to like face that kind of stuff, right? So
Mm,
I what had happened after she had passed, everyone kept feeling sorry for me. Like, oh, I feel so bad for you. I feel so sad with you. Like they're trying to like they're being nice, obviously, right? But I didn't like that feeling,
yeah.
so I used
Uh,
humor to cover that. You know what I'm saying? So I like making people laugh. I like them laughing at me rather than feeling sorry for me and shit. So that's where that shit came from. And then I just kind of like kept running with it because people like funny people, and I like to. And when growing up, I like to be liked, so I always made jokes. I always, what I'm saying. Then I became good at it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like earlier, I'm just telling stories and stuff like that, but it's just part of my personality. The funny part of I always thought about that too, right? Especially moving down to SGV and like OC and stuff like that, and being around people that were also like from the streets and shit like that. I was like, man, like, does my humor kind of because you want to be tough, right? Like you don't want people to pick on you and shit like that. So then I was like, man, if I make too many jokes, do they think I'm a goofy or something? They think I'm a weirdo or some shit like that? But it never translated like that. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's
uh,
like, oh, this motherfucker making too much jokes. What's up? You know, we gonna pick on him. It's like, never in my life has that ever happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously sometimes my jokes can go a little too far and then it's a problem. But as far as like looking at me like I'm a punk because I'm funny, nah, never. But I'm at a point where I don't care anymore, especially online. Like if I like going online, I like bullshitting, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what it should be about. A lot of people are like really serious online and shit. But uh answer your question, that's where it came from, and yeah, definitely I, I'm a pro I want to make a like career out of it. You know what I'm saying? So fuck it. It's who
mm,
I am though. It's who
yeah,
I am though.
bro. I think there's something there. Like it's just a matter of finding that pocket and that right like kind of platform, or you
I
know what
want
I
to start
mean. And just
acting. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into acting, but I don't know. I just don't have any of the. I don't know. I just haven't crossed paths with somebody who can, get into that. And I don't know really like, fuck, am I gonna
come
go
out
get some?
to come out to New York, bro. I think there's a few people out here that like just kind of start kind of planting some seeds, you know.
Yeah, all
So
right, for sure, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I would definitely want to get into that. That's what I feel like the music's gonna be a foundation. I don't know how far it'll actually take me, but it'll take me somewhere, and then I'll use
hell
that,
yeah,
and then I'll go to the next step. You know what I'm saying?
fire.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of just kind of life and all these different things, I heard you don't drink as much anymore, or you don't drink.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
what's
like
what's
that.
the story behind that?
Yeah, you know what's funny? It started when we were working on your album. We were in the studio, and I remember making a clear
you're like, I'm not fucking with this guy anymore. This motherfucker's
yeah.
too crazy, bro. He's like, this is it. Damn, I
How
felt
much
bad
time? How
now.
much time do I have? How much time do I have? Do you know? Or fuck it.
Fuck it. We
Yeah, all
got
right, fuck
time
it. All
for
right.
you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So it start. No, okay. The thought process started that day. Cause do you remember when we got in the studio
Oh
and everyone's
god.
like, "Yo, take a shot." Not you, bro. It's not you. I'm
Oh
saying the whole
god.
situation, right?
Okay.
So they were like, what was it? Okay, I was okay. I remember going in. I was telling everybody, I was like, "Hey, I want to record at least 4 songs or 3, 4 songs before I drink." Everyone's like, "All right, come on, take one." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna do these songs, right?" And then I don't know how the fuck it happened, but by the end of the night, I was fucking shrooming on ecstasy. Shit, I was like, "What the fuck?" It started with that shot though. I was like, "What the fuck?" I remember walking out. I'm like, "I think I'm fine." I walk out, and all the trees were Legos, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm fucked up right now, right?" And I didn't record shit. I recorded one verse that was trash, that I know was trash, you know. So that's where the thought of it, just like, huh, maybe I should do
Oh,
something about it. And then fitness, right? Going back to this fitness shit. Like I lost a bunch of weight. Then I'm like, I don't want to be skinny. I want to be big. You know what I'm saying? I want to gain some size. And then yeah, so I'm working out. I'm like, man, I can't lose this lower belly and shit. Like this, it just stays there. Like everything else is looking alright. Like from ribs up, I'm fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in this motherfucker, right? But
let's
the belly
go.
is there. Yeah, yeah. The belly is there. So I was like, man, something is like holding me back. And it's like, bro, I drink every single weekend since I was 14 years old. I drank every weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Yeah. So I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, if I was smoking crack every weekend, people would call me a crackhead, right? But the fact, yes or no, right? If every
Hey,
Thursday
bro, it's
to
making
Sunday,
sense.
if every Thursday to Sunday I was smoking crack, P, you would be
Bro,
like,
what you're
man,
saying is
this
making a
guy.
lot of sense.
Yeah, you'll be like, yo, you got a problem. You know, motherfuckers gonna intervention and all that, right? But the fact that I'm drinking alcohol, everyone's like, it's cool. So,
Mm.
uh, so
Hella
this
people are
is getting a
listening
little.
right now, looking at themselves like, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
maybe they should though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they should. I wish someone told me
mm.
fucking 25 years ago, or whatever fucking age I am.
4 years ago,
No, no,
yeah.
yeah, 4 years ago. That was pretty sad. Don't let me lose my train of thought because I got ADHD.
Yeah, okay, okay.
All right. So then I'm like, yo, I drink every fucking weekend, right? I'm like from Thursday, sometimes even Wednesday, right? It's like I drink, and then by the time Sunday hits, I'm recovering. Monday, I still feel shitty, right? So I'm like, man,
Mm,
fuck this. Like, am I stronger than this, or is this stronger than me? So am I an addict or not, right? So I'm like, all right, fuck this.
mm.
The new year comes around, I'm not drinking. So this is counterproductive and counterintuitive right here, right? On Christmas is on Sunday. I started drinking on Wednesday. So I'm getting fucked up for 5 days in a row. I was like, yo, I feel like shit. So I was like, fuck New Year's. I'm gonna stop drinking right now. So Christmas Day was the last day I drank. It's only been a month. I know a lot of people were like, yo, you're preaching a lot for someone who's only been sober for a month.
they're
And,
like, they're
and
like, "Hey, bro, come hang out with us. Like, let's see how it goes.
yeah,
Like a month later, bro."
yeah. So it's only
Oh,
been a
that's
month,
funny.
but my skin has gotten better. I have so much more time. It's so fucking crazy how much
Ah.
time I have, bro. You know what's another funny thing is that like people will be like, "Yo, I got this play, I got this blah, blah, blah. Like we should start this company, whatever." You know what I always say? I ain't got no time. Oh shit, I ain't got enough time. Oh, I don't got time. But you know what I always had time for? Fucking alcohol, like all the time. I always had time to drink. I always had time to fucking have a hangover. So yeah, this month has just been it's been really busy and it's crazy, bro. I've been like blessings been coming in, bro. And I don't know if it's I just wanted to say that. I don't even know if that has to do with alcohol. I just wanted to say that. But I say all that to say that I didn't quit alcohol. I just wanted to see, am I stronger than this shit? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I don't want to
Ah.
drink. Sometimes I drink because this guy wants to drink with me, and like he doesn't want to drink by himself, so I'll drink with him. But I don't even want to drink. Shit like that.
Mm,
Yeah. So
mm.
definitely, if we have something to celebrate, birthdays, I feel like birthdays are important. That's my thing. So I always drink on a homie's birthday. If we hit a goal, I'm drinking for that. I don't have to get smashed and shit, but I probably will. Yo, the clips that I'm about to pull for this is about to be
Yo,
fire.
it's about to
I'm
be
telling
wild,
you,
bro.
yeah, it's gonna be fire.
yo, you know what is the funniest is that like in the beginning you're like, hey, bro, like all the drinking that stopped, it actually started with you, P. And I was just thinking about all your homies and their birthdays being like that. They see this episode, they're like, that motherfucking Pizza Palace, bro. It's because of him. Jay's not drinking with us anymore, bro. And they like
Right, right.
they're like coming after me, bro. I'm like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
fuck.
have a habit. I have a habit of like starting stories off crazy. But I meant the thought of it. It was that night when I was sitting there, like, yo, like, and you know what? It was just me going back to being a sport, right? Chow and Dane, they're newer artists than I am, so I've been a little bit more in the game longer. So I was like, they were gassing that night, and I was like, you know,
Mm.
and it's not a competition, right? But like if me and you play basketball against each other, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're my friend. Go ahead and just dribble past me, right? I'm a D
Yeah.
you up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
thing,
Because we
same thing in
help
the
sharpen
studio.
each other.
Like that too,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So going in the studio, I'm like, yo, I want to gas these tracks and shit like that. But yeah, alcohol did not help for sure. I just like, and that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's me or like uh I've been drinking for so fucking long. But once I start drinking, I don't want to do nothing else but get drunk and get fucked up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Hart can get in the studio and drink his ass off and freestyle 10 songs like nothing. But me. I just want to keep drinking. That's it. And then I
Yeah.
want to get Jack in a box. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? We're in the studio. We paid top dollar for this shit. And here I am just smashing a jumbo jack.
Oh man, I can relate to that. I can relate. So that's funny, bro.
Yo, but shout out to chopped cheese though. Fuck.
Yo, shout out to
Speaking of
chopped
burgers,
cheese.
shout out to chopped cheese. Hey, everyone that's listening, like, yo, is that a new rapper or something? We gotta go get this new chopped cheese album, nigga.
Hey, that would actually be a hella dope album, bro. It would have to be hella New York cuts with like New York rappers,
Ooh.
New York style beats. Like that shit would go hard, bro. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole concept right there.
New York
And then
style
every
beef.
single video. Ooh, and it would be shot. The music videos would be shot in the bodega. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
shit.
Is it true that New Yorkers don't eat chopped cheese? Like real New Yorkers that grew up in New York?
Damn,
You're like,
that's
I
a
ain't know nothing but transplants. I don't know.
yeah, I know, right? Like most of the homies are transplants. I got a
Well, hey,
handful. Like,
someone in the
save it.
comments.
What? Yeah, in the comments, and then we'll bring in Mike Swift and then ask him this question too. So like, yeah. So,
Real New Yorker. Real New Yorker. You eat chopped cheese, son?
a real New Yorker. A real New Yorker. Damn, I gotta work on my accent, bro. I should stop. I'm gonna get roasted.
Same, bro. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do Asian accents. Like I'm the worst at that shit. So
you got any accents though up the sleeve?
nah, I
homegirl's kind of
don't.
cute. You're trying to impress her, make her laugh. You got like an accent up the sleeve.
Nah. All my accents are really like fucking degrading and like, or it
Oh,
sounds like
shit,
that way.
alright.
It sounds like I'm making fun of them, but I just don't know how to do it. Nah,
Oh shit! It's the wrong type of response. Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Understood. Well, shit, bro. I feel like
We covered
you
a
know,
lot.
like yeah, we covered a lot. Like, is there anything you feel like you would love to like last notes that you would want to share with the people? Like any energy, any information, any
Damn, you know what's crazy? I
ideas?
was thinking about this all day, and for some reason, with all like the stories and stuff that we told, I just kind of going blank right now. But album is out right now. War Mode, Young J. Listen. Oh yeah, if you guys can, bruh, like if you can, you know, I understand how this world works and we're all fast paced and shit. If you guys can put on some headphones or just, you know, you got an hour drive, the album's only like 25 fucking minutes or 30 minutes. If you could listen to it from head to toe, from top to bottom, without skipping, you know what I'm saying, and just then make a critique. Is that the right word? Make a critique. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if you can do that for me, I would really appreciate that shit because you know, I work really hard on this album. You know, I have a bunch of music on Tuck that I am gonna everything's coming out this year, but you know, I felt like this together collective music was really great. Um, yeah, if you guys like it, man, let me know, dude. Hit my DMs. I read everything. All my comments is open. I think I go by Young J period 777 now on Instagram. Young J 777 on on TikTok and Bad Life Young on Twitter. I need to get somebody to put all that, make that all the same. What else? I think that's one. It has to be one more thing. If I take too long, just cut the shit off. Let's see.
You got any merch? You got anything
No
coming up?
merch. No merch, nothing like that. I just want you guys to just focus on the music. I was going to make a deluxe album, and whoever wanted to pay for the album can. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the music is free on streaming platforms and shit. But I was like, you know what? Nah, sit on the music for a while. We can sell shit later. What else? What else, bro? What else would people want to know? Last words. Fucking hell, should we just end it?
You know, I'm gonna connect with you after this, and we're gonna build some NFTs around this too. So like,
Are we really?
That could be, yeah. So like,
okay, all right, sounds good, man. Anything. All right. Oh shit. Thank you guys. If you guys listened this far, I appreciate it. If you guys are just listening to the clips that I post on Instagram, I appreciate that shit too. Fuck, I know there's something that I wanted to fucking say. Is it? Is it? All right, man. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to do it next time. All right, I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all. So with that, that concludes the podcast. I go by. Damn, it's funny because you always do the outro, and I didn't realize how much coordination it takes until actually doing it. Now I'm like, damn, this shit is.
You know what I'm saying?
Take two. So
Yeah.
so I go by Pizza Palace, and we got the homie
Young Jay and the lovely Ruby Renegade cannot be here today, but you know we miss her. Shout out to Ruby.
We miss her too. Shout out to Ruby for real. And we are the Peer Pressure Podcast. Peace out.
Peer pressure.